This is the Black Stars Diary, Qatar 2022. A new era. The fans, the locals, the sights and sounds, the food, music and culture, and of course, the game itself, the beautiful game. There's more than meets the eye. It's the Black Stars Diary. Hi, once again, welcome to our direct from Qatar, and we're in a very privileged company of two distinguished sports journalists from Ghana. So four of us, actually, four distinguished gentlemen. That's Sitso Phillip Atsrim, George Addo Jr., and of course, Gary Al Smith, the one and only. I mean, guys, it's good to see you. Good. Where have you been and what's happening in Qatar so far? I think you're in Abu Dhabi.
No, he was in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, then I'll start with you.
Yeah, it was good. Abu Dhabi was maybe hotter. I think Abu Dhabi was probably warmer than Doha, but a fantastic place. It was good to be around the Black Stars to see how we're preparing for the game against Switzerland, and then to watch the win itself against Switzerland, and then to see the team, jet off to Doha. Fantastic experience. It was my first time in Abu Dhabi, yeah, but it's the second time in Doha, long stay, so familiar settings. But I think so far so good. Everything is looking very nice.
Tell me about that game, Switzerland. Were they that poor or Ghana that good?
I like this. I like this. I like this. I like this because Switzerland are a good side. You see the players on the pitch; they're really, really good. I think on the day Ghana stepped up, and there were perhaps too many surprises for Switzerland. They didn't know what to expect in a number of our players. Yes, they had seen Tariq Lamptey, they had seen Mohamed Salisu, but the thing that did the trick for us in the midfield is they didn't know what Salih Ahmed, Samed, and Elisha Wushu were going to bring. They didn't know they were going to be that calm, that disciplined, So I think that they were surprised. It took them a longer period to adjust to what we were, and I thought that we were very, very good, because after the first 45 minutes, I was like, wow. Bani and Samed, we don't have Pate, we don't have Kudus, and these boys are playing so comfortably. Oh, yeah. So I wasn't surprised when the substitutions were effected and Ghana started playing well. A lot of people want to discredit the boys for what they did, but I think you have to give them credit, because playing against Switzerland as a top 15 side, no mean feat. And if you watch the game closely, in the first 10 minutes, Switzerland had opportunities. They could have gone up by 1 or 2. So even though it was turbulent, they managed to take and be calm and go according to the coach's instructions and play the ball out. I think we did very well, and it is the beginning of something, all right? My only worry is I don't know if we should start expecting the fruits at this World Cup. We have to give ourselves a chance. It's an opportunity. We have to go as hard as we can go. But it looks like the ceiling for this team is really, really high. And if we keep them together, this unit, the nucleus of this unit, means we can have a team that probably wins the AFCON in 2024 or goes on to do very, very well.
Wow, that sounds very powerful. I mean, and I guess that answers that question. I wasn't there, and I wasn't too sure what to make of it, but George has explained it, and if you put it into perspective, I think what it means is that expectations are high, but let's manage it. Gary, a lot of Ghanaians obviously were expecting a draw would be the best for Ghana, even the experts. And then Ghana wins by 2-0. I mean, George has given us an insight. What are your thoughts?
First of all, that it was a very pleasant surprise that the team gave to Ghanaians, and for those of us who were back home, it absolutely lifted the mood. If it didn't take expectations through the roof, minimum, it gave people an assurance that this is not a hopeless team, right? And I've said that it's fantastic because then for so many reasons, corporates will get a bit more involved, will release more money into the system for things to move. And no, it's important. It's crucial. Yeah, yes. They needed that confidence. So between then and now, I am sure that across the country, those who needed to approve certain things for things to move, for the economy to be a bit vibrant, have done that. They've done that. And ahead of the game against Portugal, you will see a bit more involvement by people who will be doing all sorts of things in relation to the Black Stars. You know, you saw flags this weekend before I left Ghana, you know, and you wouldn't have expected that a week ago. So it's all good. Whether they were that good or Switzerland were that bad, it's been a while since we had a pre-World Cup win. 2006, 2010, 2014, not the best. However, over a strong opponent, you know. What it also means is that in all three previous occasions, the expectations were low, and so the team rose to the occasion. Now, would it get into their heads? We hope not.
That's actually the thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't get into their heads.
Saying with expectations, I have tried so hard to drum it in anytime I have the opportunity that the 2010 experience, and a lot of people have not looked at it carefully, but the 2010 experience was fantastic because of the building blocks. Now, we had a 2016 that kept the nucleus. They played at the AFCON in 2008, semi-final. And remember, anytime we do well in competitions, we are more likely to keep the team than do any substitutions. So they moved on to the 2010 AFCON, and they went all the way to the final. Now, the inclusions, that's the under-20, the 2019, played the under-20 World Cup, played in the CHAN, and played in the AFCON as well. So we had a team that had been together averagely for like 3-4 solid years of playing, and we saw what happened, you know, at the back of it. What this team really, what I wish this team had was a lot of time to learn about each other. Their bonding has been quicker if you look at the time that they've had, but they are getting there. So I still don't call them that cohesive, solid unit who understand each other. You can see partnerships in little corners, and I'm sure as you spend time with the team, you can see that. Yeah, between maybe Bani and Danlad, you see Fatal Sahaku, Kudus. You know, they are building their connections, but as mini blocks. But as a team, we're yet to get there. So I tell a lot of people that when you come to the World Cup, you have to take opportunities. If you have the chance, you score. If you can go to the final, you go. You can win. But if you're looking at building a team, we have a fantastic set of boys to build on from here. They have great ages. They are very, very good. And most of them are beginning to show their potential. For most of the players, maybe, even Thomas Partey, I don't think has really, if you speak to Thomas, he has not really hit the heights. Yes, he has a lot of gears to go. And that's why I'm so confident that whatever happens in this World Cup is a team that we must keep and continue to build.
You make a good point about how you ended it. That whatever happens at this World Cup, we need to build this team and look forward. And it's a blessing in disguise for Ghana because the AFCON would have been in January, February. It would have been in January, February. He said no. Because of the World Cup, it's June, July. Then because of flooding in Cote d'Ivoire, he said it's next 2 years, January, February. What that gives Ghana is an opportunity for us to build a team. As you mentioned, very talented with age on their side, playing in some very good clubs. They can only get better. So we've got a whole year to build a very good team for the more realistic achievements, AFCON. And so I look at the talents we've got. I look at the fact that they can get better and the potential we have on our hand. And I feel that we have the right blocks, as you mentioned, to build a proper team to compete at the next AFCON. And the good thing for us then is also almost all our competitors have hit their peaks and are just about declining. They're just about. I mean, we saw Senegal who won the more recent AFCON. Yes. I'm not sure Mane, Koulibaly, Ghana Gay, Nepalese Mendy, Dieng are going to be as good as they were last year in the next AFCON because age would have been just been declining. Yeah. Mohamed Salah and his Egyptian national team who were in the final would have just been declining, and Ghana would have just been peaking. Yeah. Cote d'Ivoire, Zaha, and all the big boys, Bailey, would all be declining. Maybe Nigeria have got a talented pool who could come in that time, but that gives Ghana a real opportunity to build a team and they realistically compete for the AFCON. So the World Cup is great for us to learn. Yeah. The World Cup is a great opportunity for us to find something to build on. We can't afford to fluff it. And that's one thing I'm happy about, that the boys are young, they have the potential, and they can only get better.
I was just going to add that, you know, the depth in squad we're talking about. When you look at the team closely, you only have the centre backs. You've got Joseph Aidu, you have Mohamed Salisu, you've got Daniel Amate, Chiku. Wow. Wow. Fantastic ages. Wow. If Alidu Seidu can play as centre back, you go to right back, Dennis Odoi, Tariq Lamte, Alidu Seidu can fit in there as well. Left back, Gideon Mensah, Baba Rahman. In the middle, even if you're taking central defensive midfielders, you've got Salis, you've got Thomas Partey. I made Elisha Owusu.
We are talking about some very good players who were left out because the technical team thought they were not ready at this time, or they might, so they could all come in the fold. And Ghana is blessed. We are in a good place here.
I think we're in a good place here.
It sounds really positive, but there's even more. I mean, the technical team has been beefed up, and this is the first time you have a combination of homegrown Ghanaian technical men, you know, outside grown in terms of where they're coming from. So the blend, there's no disconnect. If for any moment Otto Addo forgets, you know, look, these guys are coming from a certain mindset, there's always a backup in the local coaches to, you know, Chris Hughton is coming from a different angle as well. So is this the best assemblage of technical brains Ghana has ever assembled for any tournament?
Well, somebody used to remind me anytime we're having discussions about superlatives, the biggest, the best, that, and he will always say, Gary, Ghana football didn't start today. I mean, we come from a really storied background. So, yeah, we might have to cool down a bit. CKJ, if you have something to say about that.
And I'm sure he didn't have such a huge backroom staff.
Yep. So, you know, sometimes it's about moments. They are in the right place at the right time. You might have had a really good assemblage of coaches for a certain tournament, but the climate, I'm not talking political climate, but even the team, the time, maybe the people didn't understand their ideas, they were ahead of their time, they were behind their time. All these things come into play. You know, you can think of different tournaments. Milovan Rahivat came at the right place at the right time, with the right system, with the right play. Thank you. Players who would listen to him. And I feel that is also a thing now.
Yeah, right.
These guys here, there's only 2 of them who have ever played at the World Cup. They are all wide-eyed and they are like,
Tell us what to do.
tell us what to do. And Otuado is going to just stand there and say, I have been to the World Cup. I have played for Ghana. Listen to me. I have won the Bundesliga. Listen to me. And you will listen.
And you know the interesting, it was his first World Cup. And for 99% of the players, it's their first. So he can really have that connection.
And let's not forget Chris Hughton, Northern Ireland. He was part of a team that was, so he's also got World Cup experience. And surrounded with them, surrounding the team or the technical team is Samuel Sekufu, Tony Bafo. That is experience, George. That's experience.
But the big thing for me, for this technical team, the big thing for me is they have built a structure and a system which for me should start affecting the junior national teams. Sitso, yeah, you would have seen clearly that there is a defined program for the day. Yeah. Sometimes the program even comes out, the schedule comes out a day before. Yeah. And you look at the way they are working. Okay, Otuado is doing this. Chris Hughton is making sure every little thing is sorted out. George is doing that. Didi Dramani is doing that. And they make sure that at 7:30, we have to move, we move. Yeah. I've seen players running to dine in or running for lunch because they know that they are just checking their time. They are going to be fined. Yeah. So the discipline in camp, if we're all wearing fugu, everybody's wearing fugu. If we're all wearing that, so that discipline in camp and the way the technical teams sit down to deliberate on issues to make it as fair as possible is something that I hope we take down to the other national teams. And it's good that we have some of the national team coaches here to witness what is going on. Because I think at the moment it's difficult for anybody to be recalcitrant or be a deviant in this Black Stars team because the group is moving in a certain direction. Yeah. And I think it's good. It's really, really good for us. So I agree with Gary saying that moments make it. But I also believe that you must trust the process. Continue to trust the structures. Continue to build the process. One day it will show, and when it comes up, you can tell the story.
Yeah, and while he says that, I mean, we've been here, we've seen the players, we've seen the attitude. And the captain is leading by example as well. He's almost the first to pop up for breakfast or for lunch. He's first to get around the team bus. The big lads, Thomas Partey, deputy captain, is doing the same. Amate is rallying the rest of the lads together. And those who have come to the team new, come also and all of you. We always spoke about the culture around the team. I've not seen Inaki William look like a player who is in a different world. I've not seen Tariq Lam to look like I'm not really a part of it. They're all beginning to find their feet in the team, and that in itself is good. And when you spoke about the fact that, I spoke about the fact that local coaches have been brought in to whether in turn learn or support. Coaches always do need the helping hand, and I've seen them when they are training. Last night I was there when they were training, and Bwedu, Ogum, Tanko, Ignatius joined the camp this morning, but the three of them that I mentioned before, they were very hands-on. They are giving specific instructions to do, and they are helping. So it takes some pressure away from Didi, Chris, and then Otto and George, and and everybody knows their job. And yesterday, when they were training, when they were going to do a tactical training, they asked some of us to excuse them, and I overheard Chris telling Otto, "No, you focus on them. I'll deal with the media guys. I'll talk to them. Focus." Yes. And there's real understanding, telepathy between the technical team, and if the players themselves see that in itself brings some good bonding. So I'm not going to say Ghana is going to bulldoze past every team, but I'm going to say that the foundation is being laid. The foundation is being laid, and if we take proper care of what we are laying now, even before we kick the ball, the future is going to be great. Yeah.
Gary made mention about everybody chipping in. The corporates will be watching very closely what happens on Wednesday. It's very important. But already on Thursday, I beg your pardon. Already here we're seeing that the structure, as you guys have mentioned, and George, you've been traveling with them, so you've seen at close quarters exactly what's happening. The technical director, Bernard Lepet, is here. The FA hierarchy, they're all here. You have, the coach, exactly. Now, the players we've talked about as well. What role should the media or is the media playing? I mean, the media is neutral, yes, of course, but in your national team's agenda, you should also be able to positively put out all these, things out there. Is it our place? Is it our job to make sure we carry all this as vigorously as we can, or we allow things to roll as, in nature, or by nature, what happens, and then we report? Because there's a lot of education from Gary, yourself, Sitso. If we don't tell them, they wouldn't know.
Understand the issues beyond the results. The results often become the basis for people to the big mindsets and everything. So I've seen people go hard at Otuado because he's the head coach when something goes wrong. Otuado is It's because they don't know that there's a whole system, and even some of the decisions that are taken cannot be taken, solely by Otuado, because he's got a technical team that he's working with. So I think that, one, it's our duty to report what is the truth. But in doing that, we must have this national agenda on, because even more than ever, it's because of social media and the fact that most of the things that we say go around and they get to hear. So if we can encourage the boys, we must encourage the boys, and we have to be more responsible in how we disseminate information, which is very, very critical. It's a big challenge these days, because the new media means that a young boy somewhere around the world can have access to the world in a different way because he puts out news. And unfortunately, once it's sensational, everybody's going to jump on. It can fly, and it would even sometimes when he even comes back with the right stuff, it doesn't really go in there. So yeah, I understand. Because for most of us, the main frontline guys, we are trying as much as possible to drum in what must be drummed in. Yes, we criticize the team when the team doesn't play well, criticize the players when they don't play well, but it should be done in a way that you don't break the entire spirit of the national team. So we have a huge responsibility, Yaw, and I hope that we can understand. But aside that, there's also the big challenge of social media and how non-traditional media men can get to broadcast news and they just to do it off with their emotions. So I think it plays a critical part, Gary.
Over the years, sometimes these things come with experience, because when you begin, you start out particularly as a sports journalist. Like everybody else, you want to be seen and heard. You are building a reputation. You want to break the news. You want to be the first to, and usually bad news will go faster. So Yaw just showed me something while we were here, and he wanted to pass it on, and I just asked him to, because over the past 2 weeks, that reporter has got about 2 news items wrong and mixed up. Secondly, literally this morning, George was saying something on our radio broadcast about fans, how fans are coming here.
Right.
And I just told him, no,
let's wait.
because just 10 days ago, I had a sports minister on one-on-one, and he reiterated that government is not bringing anybody here by the government. So they are doing it through the corporates. So if you go out there, what the Yaw sent was of a report from someone who said that the government is bringing 2,000 fans here. And the government has said 3 different times at various fora that because of the economic situation, they are not bringing anybody here themselves. They are going through corporates who are going to pay for it.
Fans are going to come, but just not through government.
Not through the government.
The ministers, okay.
That's what they've said.
Yeah, that's what they've said.
If until contrary information, we can't.
But in the past, as Gary is saying, perhaps okay, it becomes
So
an issue.
so this reporter is not very established, and so it will get retweets. Like the previous report he did, got a lot of retweets. I've forgotten what it was about. Just last week.
Controversial as well.
It was very controversial. It was
Was it about the jerseys?
the jersey thing. The jerseys being left behind.
Yeah, I ignore that story.
There was a report that
How is that even possible?
there was a report that Ghana had left our Puma jerseys.
And
They
it
are
made
going
the
to
rounds.
wear, and it made the rounds. It got 1,000 retweets and something, and it was tweeted all over. I even saw a Chinese media outlet report it.
And it was false.
And it was false. And I said it comes with experience, because if you're experienced, you would know that Puma will not waste money to bring the jerseys
not make sure.
not even that, to bring the jerseys to the country and bring it back to the.
Right.
They take every country's, because it's cheaper that way.
Right.
Puma are going to have about 6 or 7 countries on their roster at the World Cup. They take it from whichever factory, and then they bring it here, direct here. And you know that Puma jerseys are made in China. It's just around the corner.
Right.
I mean, these are based from the China to the Gulf is just the Accra to Tema station matter.
Sharp.
So immediately you see something like that, an understanding of the global issues and knowing that no, they're not going to bring this all the way to Ghana and then
saying, besides the FA came in back. The first team
so all those, that's what I'm saying, all these things come with experience. So the role of the media, it's challenging because you are desperate to break the news you want to, and I mean, with the benefits of hindsight, you look back and what our seniors told us was ask questions and relax. Ask questions and relax. But then people are programmed because of so many legitimate reasons to expect bad news from the camp. And I want to emphasize, because of so many legitimate reasons, because yes, a lot of government functionaries are primed to hide information. So journalists and our job is to expose information. To dig. So when the news comes up, people, oh yeah, that's what's happening. But there are a lot of government functionaries who are also looking to do the right thing. So there is a balance. It may be true that government may bring in supporters, but they have told us through official press releases that they are not bringing. So until we can really justify, and all of us here are able to text. All of us are able to text people in certain positions and ask. So it's before we sit here. I mean, when we say it, they know that Yaw should have been able to.
Amongst us.
You should have been able to. Yeah, so we can't just.
Right.
So that the role of the media is really simple too, because you see, at the end of the day, and I wrote this last week. You remember? I said for every sports journalist, if you are a Ghanaian sports journalist, a Senegalese, a Moroccan, a Tunisian, Cameroonian sports journalist, it is when your country does well that your work does well.
Absolutely.
Like, it's a simple fact. It is not even a debate, because for most journalists, an English journalist, most English journalists will be here as long as England are here. Most Brazilian journalists will be here as long as England are here. We are at the team hotel now because Ghana is here. Immediately Ghana goes out, even if your media house is paying, it
becomes irrelevant.
because we can walk into the Ghanaian team hotel without much attention because they are Ghanaians and they know us. We can't do that in a Senegalese hotel. So it's easier for us to give you news and information. We can record this because it's a Ghana team hotel.
You can't do that.
So Ghanaian journalists should also understand that there's a thin line between
Being a journalist
being a journalist
and being a controversial
and then being a controversial journalist and then being a Ghanaian. So that's the role of the journalist. Just sit down and understand that your job is also to be a moral compass, but your job is also to make sure Ghana goes as far as it can.
Hi, my name is Seth. I'm from the USA, and keep watching the Black Style Diaries.
The new, I think George also mentioned that the new era of consuming information is also a big problem. Because believe me, a lot of the fake news that will get more clicks than the original news are those who are not even here. They are not even here. They're not going to get information. And while we've been here, there are things that we perhaps have picked up, but we would have decided this is not the time to tell that story. That is not the time to push that story. And I think timing is crucial as well. When the tournament is over, there are over 100 things you can write to put the whole tournament in perspective. But when the team has not kicked the ball yet, when the team has just lost, when the team has just won, when the team is in some bit of crisis or the team is at another level, you decide what information to push alongside the team. I'm not saying cover up, but I'm saying timing in reporting, timing in writing, and what information. As a media person, it's absolutely crucial. It really is crucial because it could go a long way to put pressure on the team or otherwise. It could go a long way to deflate the team or give them momentum. So knowing what to put out there, especially when you are close to the team, as we are lucky enough to be, it's ultimately crucial. And so the fake news will come. But then the technical team, the handlers of the players must also know what kind of information is trickling down. And now it's become difficult, hasn't it? Because the players are on social media also consuming it.
So again, experience will teach you a few things. So Senegal have done this very well over the years. So Senegal have a WhatsApp group that they formed, officially sanctioned Senegal team WhatsApp group. It is not for Senegalese journalists.
Right.
It is only for international journalists. And they put a lot of journalists that they know can, every day, they put the team information out there. So you don't have any reason to speculate anything. They are controlling the narrative. Previously, and I'll give credit to Ibrahim Sani Dara for this. When he was, you remember, by the time you woke up in Ghana, GFA Communications, there'll be audios, and he would do it himself.
Yeah.
He walked to the players because he has an idea of what the news value of. So he knows that, everybody wants to hear from Efiri Barnier.
And it's because he was a field reporter.
Because he was a field reporter.
Exactly.
So he was going to walk to Efiri Barnier. He knew that when Ghanaians wake up today, hey, Charlie, they say Barnier wants to, he'll go and speak to Barnier and dump it on that group, put it on all the major WhatsApp groups, and then it will fly. Give them something to talk about. And they did that all the time. So, and then I know Cameroon have one, but that is for Cameroonians. So in this day and age, like you say, bad news travels fast, but you can also find a way. So for example, TikTok want to make this a TikTok World Cup. They want to call it a TikTok because 2010 was the Twitter World Cup. So they reach out to all the federations and ask them, you have a TikTok? If you have a TikTok, they detail like a relationship officer to you to tell you how to maximize your content during, so, and then they will tweak their algorithm to push your content up. So they got in touch with the GFA, and GFA now have a TikTok, a very vibrant TikTok.
Yeah.
So when you log in from Ghana or log on from Ghana on TikTok, whether you like the Black Stars or not, you will see it. That's what they do. And that's what Twitter, before Elon Musk came, they have what they call the Twitter curating team. It's been disbanded since. So you saw that the AFCON was everywhere. It became because they put people on it. So that is what. So the world is moving. The bad news is moving. But if we learn how to counter it, you can make sure that your agenda is always out there. I, in particular, have loved what the GFA have done, whether by design or by accident, by getting the Fugu thing was, I mean,
On point.
look, the Fugu thing was a brilliant stroke. Different dimension. And because it's the Kert administration, we know from history that it was not an accident. He did it in the 2014 FA Cup in Tamale, Heart versus Kotoko. The 3-1, exactly. They did the whole Fugu thing and it became the talk of Ghana as well. I'm sure somebody just said, Charlie, let's not reinvent the wheel. Luckily for them, the FIFA handles were going crazy about it.
When you're going here at the hotel, we are so tired. We're just trying to get into our rooms, and we're checking our bags at the team hotel, and the security man couldn't help, knowing we were tired, still said, guys, the guys who came here to support your team and the way your team dressed, and this guy is from Qatar. He's here. He's a security, and he was so overwhelmed. He was so happy to have seen, and was asking about the dress and what it meant and where it's from, and he had not seen that, and so when you speak about the branding, that content in its creation, I mean, these are some of the stories people are coming to the World Cup and they're keeping a close eye to see, and I actually understand that it would have been a suit, which were ready, but the FA decided, nah, we are not suit.
Because I heard that there were suits.
Yeah, which were ready.
You saw the suits?
I saw ready suits. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I saw ready
Except
suits.
the one probably Otuado was one of which.
Yeah, one
he
of which were black, beautiful suits. They had name tags on it. The official one, yes. So that was there. So yeah. So I think it was a late decision because flying into Abu Dhabi it was suits, and then I think probably there they changed their minds.
So let's give it up for the effort though, because they've been on it. And again, as we mentioned, the local coaches who came. You're looking at two of the last winners of the Ghana Premier League in Buedu, who won the FA Cup as well twice, and the more recent one, Ogum, who has won the league with Kotoko only recently last season. You're looking at Ignacio Osefosu, who is a coach's instructor in Ghana. And you're also looking at Ibrahim Itanko, who is the coach for the Meteors. So that in itself is capacity. That is in itself, it's capacity building, isn't it? Taking them to the World Cup and asking them.
Dr. Ogum as well is the Chan team, is it?
Yeah, yes, it's absolutely assistant coach,
and
Chan
Walker,
team,
yeah.
and Walker. So yeah, FA is on course.
Fantastic having Sitso Phillip Atsrim here, as well as George Addo and Gary Al Smith, bringing you the very latest from Team Black Stars camp. We're in the team camp here. Very peaceful. Security, guys, we need to talk about that. You've been to World Cup, you've been to AFCON, you've been to Championship. Security, I mean, let's talk about that, 30 seconds each.
Charlie, for me, it's good. In a team hotel, it's good. It's good. I mean, Charlie, we don't want any slips and any shakarats. I mean, we understand that it's
Where we are is
prison level security is good.
I haven't seen anything like this. Like in the hotel, close to 200 in the hotel, on the floors. This one is a serious matter.
Yeah, but I mean, the good thing is, okay, when you see them first, it's like, wow. But they are friendly, they are accommodating, they are not scary. I mean, I've seen security that they put pressure on you, but this one, even though the numbers are there, they are firm and they are trying to help you direct where you're going to go. Let me see your tag and all of this. So I'm all for it.
it almost seems as if each one has an eye on each person. There are so many. They just sit and watch. But if you need help, you go to them. And guys, very finally, so this is a World Cup where, Thursday, Ghana versus Portugal. I know you're as excited as ordinary Ghanaians. We are ordinary Ghanaians.
Yeah,
we're just privileged to be doing what we love to do. We don't take it for granted at all. It's a blessing, and we never forget about that. But Thursday, expectations very finally.
I have managed expectations. I'm excited we are the World Cup first of all, because it could have been Nigeria here, and I want to enjoy the ride. For me, that's it.
You reminded me of bilateral relations with Qatar, eh? I mean, bilateral relations with Qatar. Buhari is in Qatar. Can you imagine Buhari? I'm imagining Ghana. It is Ghana versus Portugal. I want to enjoy the experience. I also agree. I just want to go into the game and hope Ghana does well. Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I think first of all, as Gary said, I'm happy the Black Stars are here. I'm going to support the Black Stars. I'm going to report on them, and I can only wish them the best. And I hope that they put on their A game, which of course they will do. They are professional footballers. So all the best to the Black Stars. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, Ghana, thank you very much. I mean, I've been in a very privileged company. These three young men, obviously, a combined age of maybe 60, you know, it's okay, which is almost my age, but
90.
I'm very happy to have them here. And hopefully, we'll get them back again when, the competition progresses, and we're delighted to have their minds, their thoughts, their experiences as well. Keep watching. There'll be more to follow. Bye for now. This is the Black Stars Diary, Qatar 2022. A new era. The fans, the locals, the sights and sounds, the food, music and culture, and of course, the game itself, the beautiful game. There's more than meets the eye. It's the Black Stars Diary. And this is where the Black Stars Diary takes a pause. A big thanks to the IMAX Media Black Stars team in Accra and the production team in Qatar. Until the next time, keep watching and bye for now.